August 7, 1942, 9:10 a.m. Guadalcanal, Solomon Islands. Private First Class Lou Casarino, a 19-year-old Marine from Brooklyn, New York, crouched in the landing craft's bow as it plowed through choppy waves toward a beach codenamed Red. The air reeked of diesel and fear. Above, U.S. carrier planes screamed overhead, strafing Japanese positions that barely fired back. Casarino's 1st Marine Division, 11,000 men strong, expected a walkover. Japanese intelligence had dismissed Guadalcanal as a backwater, a spot for an airfield they'd just started building. No fortifications, no heavy defenses. But as Casarino hit the sand, machine gun fire stitched the water. "They're here," he yelled. What the Marines didn't know, 2,200 Japanese, mostly laborers, had fled inland, but elite reinforcements were already en route via the Tokyo Express. For 6 months, this jungle hell would become the Pacific's bloodiest grinder, where 60,000 Americans and 31,000 Japanese clashed in land, sea, and air battles that shattered Japan's illusion of invincibility. Guadalcanal wasn't just an island. It was the moment Japan realized America's soft octopus had steel tentacles. The raid on Tokyo by Doolittle's B-25s in April had stung Japan's pride. Guadalcanal would bleed it dry. The octopus awakens, Japan's overconfidence after Pearl Harbor. In January 1942, Tokyo streets echoed with victory cries. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the octopus-minded strategist behind Pearl Harbor, had tentacles everywhere. The Philippines fallen, Malaya conquered, Hong Kong seized. Japan controlled 1/4 of the globe's surface in 100 days with losses under 15,000 men. The Imperial General Staff dreamed bigger: seize India, link with Hitler in the Middle East, starve the Allies of oil. Yamamoto, aboard the super battleship Yamato, warned, "We can run wild for 6 months, then the octopus starves." He knew America's factories churned out 1.8 million tons of ships yearly versus Japan's 500,000, but politicians like Prince Kano ignored him, pushing for endless war. The Doolittle raid on April 18, 16 B-25s bombing Tokyo changed everything. No deaths, minimal damage, but it humiliated the emperor. Yamamoto, furious at the Navy's failure to protect the homeland, demanded a trap at Midway to draw out U.S. carriers. But Midway, June 4-7, backfired. 4 Japanese carriers sunk, 3,057 dead, versus 1 U.S. carrier and 307 Americans. Japan suppressed the loss, but Yamamoto knew, "We woke a sleeping giant." Desperate, he accelerated southern expansion, New Guinea Solomons to cut Australia off, Guadalcanal just a dot for an airfield. No threat until August 7, when 75 U.S. ships appeared, unleashing 1,000 Marines in the Pacific's first amphibious assault since 1898. The landing, surprise, and slaughter. August 7, 6:13 a.m. off Guadalcanal. The USS Enterprise's F-4F Wildcats roared off decks, bombing Japanese seaplane bases on Chalagi and Gavutu. Surprise was total: 9 Japanese float planes destroyed on water, 8 more bombed on ramps. No Zeros in sight. At 9:10 a.m. Marines hit Guadalcanal's beaches. Resistance, 0. The 1,400 Japanese laborers fled, leaving tents with hot rice bowls and chopsticks scattered. Like they vanished, Casarino recalled. By noon, Marines reached the unfinished airfield, later named Henderson Field after a Midway hero. They found wooden barracks, untouched, and a breakfast table set for ghosts. But Chalagi was hell. Lieutenant Colonel Merritt Edson's 1st Marine Raiders landed at 8:15 a.m., facing 250 Yokohama Air Base troops under Captain Shichitoshi Miyazaki. Dug into ravines and caves, Japanese snipers tied to trees picked off raiders. Edson's men crawled cliffs, dropping grenades into bunkers. By nightfall, 90 raiders down, but Chalagi held. On Gavutu Tinambogo, 500 Japanese fought to the death. Marines lost 250. "They don't surrender," Edson radioed. "They die." Japanese snipers pretended to wave white flags, then fired, teaching Marines a brutal lesson: no prisoners. Stats from day 1. U.S. planes lost, 21 to 0s. Japanese planes lost, 36 grounded and bombed. Marine casualties, 340, mostly on Chalagi. Japanese dead, 700 plus, no surrenders. The Naval Nightmare, Savo Islands bloodbath. August 8-9, 1942, the slot. Admiral Gunishi Mikawa, commanding the Japanese 8th Fleet from Rabaul, reacted fast. 5 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and 1 destroyer armed with long lance torpedoes, 24,000-yard range 108 ELB warheads, steamed 1,100 miles south. U.S. intelligence failed. Coastwatchers spotted them, but reports lost in bureaucracy. At 1:42 a.m. August 9, Mikawa's force slipped into Iron Bottom Sound, later named for sunken ships. Allied cruisers, USS Chicago, HMAS Canberra, USS Astoria, Quincy Vincennes guarded the transports, but divided command and no night fighting training doomed them. Mikawa's cruisers fired torpedoes in the dark, sinking Canberra 203 dead, Quincy 370 dead, Vincennes 346 dead, Astoria 219 dead. Chicago lost its bow. In 35 minutes, 1,077 Allied sailors dead, Japan lost 58. Mikawa withdrew without attacking transports, fearing U.S. carriers which had fled. Twist: Admiral Fletcher pulled carriers south on August 8, leaving Marines stranded. "We were betrayed," Vandergrift fumed. Supplies half unloaded, the fleet sailed, abandoning 17,000 Marines with 37 days' rations and 4 days' ammo. The Jungle Grinder, 6 Months of Hell. August 20, 1942, Alligator Creek. Japanese Colonel Keano Ikiki landed 900 troops expecting a quick win. At 1:30 a.m. they charged Marine lines, human waves screaming banzai. Marines mowed them down with .30 cal machine guns and canister shot. By dawn, 777 Japanese dead, Marines lost 41. "They came like moths to a flame," Casarino said. Henderson Field became the prize. Japanese Tokyo Express runs night destroyers landed 6,000 troops by September. U.S. carriers returned briefly, but the Battle of the Eastern Solomons, August 23-25, cost Japan a carrier, 90 planes. September 12-14, Bloody Ridge. General Kawaguchi's 6,000 troops attacked Edson's Ridge, defending Henderson. 3 nights of banzai charges, Japanese lost 1,200, Marines 143. "We held with bayonets and guts," Edson radioed. Naval battles raged. Cape Esperance, October 11-12, U.S. victory. Naval Battle of Guadalcanal, November 12-15, where battleships Washington and South Dakota sank Kirishima, Japan lost 2,000 sailors. Stats across Guadalcanal. U.S. casualties, 7,100 dead, 29 ships sunk, 615 planes lost. Japanese casualties, 31,000 dead, 38 ships sunk, 683 planes lost. Ironbottom Sound, 50-plus wrecks in 6 months. The human toll, heroes in the hell. Call Lewis B. Chesty Puller led Marines at Bloody Ridge, earning his 3rd Navy Cross. "We're surrounded, that simplifies the problem." SGT John Basilone held a machine gun line for 3 days, killing 38 Japanese single-handedly. Medal of Honor, later died at Iwo Jima. PVT Al Schmid, blind from grenade shrapnel, killed 200 Japanese with his .30 cal, Navy Cross. Japanese PVT Hiroshi Funasaka survived 3 months on rats and rainwater, later wrote, "Guadalcanal broke our spirit." Malaria ravaged both sides. U.S. had 8,500 cases, but Japanese starvation killed more than bullets. Guadal starvation, they called it. The breaking point, Japan's retreat. February 17, 1943, Operation Key. Japan evacuated 13,000 troops via 20 destroyers, brilliant but humiliating. U.S. intelligence missed it, thinking it was reinforcements. On February 9, Vandergrift declared Guadalcanal secure. Japan had lost its first land battle, 31,000 dead to disease, starvation, and combat. America lost 1,600 ground dead but gained momentum. Yamamoto, aboard Musashi, lamented, "Guadalcanal is the fork in the road to defeat." The campaign cost Japan 683 planes, irreplaceable pilots, and naval superiority. By 1944, U.S. carriers numbered 99 versus Japan's 25. Legacy: The Octopus Strikes Back. Guadalcanal shortened the war by a year per historians. It proved U.S. Marines could fight Japan's best and win, boosting morale after Pearl Harbor. The Cactus Air Force at Henderson P-38's F-4FS sank 17 Japanese ships. Post-war, Guadalcanal became a U.S. memorial site. Yamamoto, assassinated in April 1943, never saw the end. Fuchida, Pearl Harbor leader, converted to Christianity.